Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. Today we are reviewing the X140, the Helifar. For some reason the box says RPO. Not sure if that's supposed to be Pro, but anyway, sometimes that happens. We get misprints. We're going to be doing a full review on this guy today, unboxing it and flying it in the backyard here at my house. I really think that these smaller ones are really okay to kind of fly around your house if you have a decent sized yard. These are the Attitude V4 goggles. Just got these in. I've been using these Sky Zones over there in the back for a while, loving those Sky Zones, but I just got these in, so I need to test them. And I'm going to be booting these up and recording. These do have a DVR on them, so I'm going to be recording the FPV view for you guys in these and see how these do. And also using the Taranis X7S bound up to this little drone. So without further ado, let's get started with this full review. Okay, so first thing we need to do, of course, is unbox this guy. Now, this is the FR Sky version. If you look back here, it's with the FR Sky receiver. So this is basically a bind and fly. Let's open the package. We've got two sets of propellers. And these are kind of looking like those propellers that come with the, remember the Baby Hawk R little race drone? Looks like the same type of propellers. These are, I believe these are the 3-inch size though. So two sets of those. And then we have a little bag of peripherals here. So we have prop nuts, we have some heat shrink tubing, a couple of tie wraps, and there is a XT30 little connector there. I guess you can solder that on if whatever's on there doesn't do it for you, if maybe that rips off. It looks like it's got an XT60 connector on there. So anyhow, here's the quad. It comes already bagged up. There's a little, looks like a FR Sky receiver manual. I'm not seeing any manual for the actual quad itself, but this should be very basic, just Betaflight hookup. I'm not even going to tune it. I'm just going to fly it out of the box, see how it runs. Hopefully these companies that are giving us bind and flies are getting better at giving us a decent tune out of the box. As you may know, I'm not a pro tuner and I really don't like spending the time to tune these things. I like to see how they fly out of the box. But look at this guy. Wow, it is looking quite nice. You can see that we have a triple stack. Cool. So that's probably power distribution with our ESCs. There's our flight controller, and on top is looking like it is our video transmitter up there. Looking at the camera, there it is. It doesn't look like it's a branded run cam. So this is like a more of a generic lookalike run cam type of mini camera there, but that's the FPV camera in the front. Nice purplish aluminum standoffs throughout. You can see how it's a lighter purple here and then a darker purple on the actual stack of the board, looking really good. Here's the motors. So the motors are Sky Stars, and if you can see this, they're 1408 3800 kV. So the magnets are feeling really tight too, so these things are gonna kick. Look at that thickness on the carbon fiber. So you can see that there. It looks like it's like 3 millimeters thick at least. And check out the bottom. It's like these gold Allen screws here. I've never seen this before. Kind of a flashy touch to it. It looks like it's going to be really hard to break this one. It looks like the main chassis itself here is maybe 2 millimeter. The arms are 3 millimeter, and the top stack does look like 2 millimeter as well. And then our camera is like 1.5 millimeter. The camera bracing on the sides. A nice standard Velcro strap, great, with some silicone here to hold your battery in nice and tight. It does look like the receiver is just kind of hanging around here. You see this is the FR Sky micro receiver. So that guy we're going to need to mount in somewhere. They already have some sticky tape on it, double-sided sticky tape. So we just need to figure out a good spot for that and mount that up. They do already give us the zip ties and shrink wrap, so we can mount that wherever we see fit. Anyway, video transmitting antenna. Wow, so it's screwed in right to the bottom of the chassis right there. Very solid. And then we're gonna put whatever we want on there. That's great because we can put a circular polarized antenna on there if we want to. We're not limited to the linear dipole antennas. That's great. So looking really good so far. There's a beeper on the back. Just gonna take this little sticky off here so we can actually be able to hear that when we're flying. So there's a beeper tied into a set of marker lights there, and they're just zip tied to the back braces there. The top two does have those gold screws on it, so again, looking quite flashy. I'm just going to slide on a few of these propellers just to see how they look. I'm not going to put them on right now, but all the way, but just going to slide them on. You can see how those guys fit on there. So look at that. There's our clearance to the main chassis. It's looking really good. These things have so much bite, man. Actually, this one will go on this side, but the leading edge is going to go into the back or the front of the quad. Anyway, guys, I'm just going to do a simple binding to the Tyrannus and then just go into Betaflight real quick. I'm not going to include that in the video because there's so many videos out there. I've never actually made one. I've just kind of included it in some of my quads reviews. Eventually, I'll actually make a video just on how to go in and set up Betaflight in the simplest manner. I want to get out there and fly with you guys, and I don't want this video to be too long. So let me just do that behind the scenes, get the props on, batteries charged up. And by the way, I did get some GNB 4S 650 batteries in, and I think I'm going to pop one of them on this. So we're going to go right to 4S with this and see how it flies outside. Let's go fly. All right, guys, let's give the little Helifar 140 a run for its money. So here's what I did to it. Just basically tie wrap, stuck it to the top of the top plate, the receiver, tie wrapped it up. Tie wraps they include, and the heat shrink. Just put the antennas up like this. Of course, you could put them however you want. I just put them up like this. I'm just got a regular 4-leaf clover Amway antenna on there, just kind of a generic one. We'll see how it goes. Just using the stock setup on the Fat Shark goggles. And something that I need to complain about with these guys for the battery they have, not the charger, but the actual charger leads, and I don't have any chargers that won't charge 2S without a balance plug. So kind of a little stupid thing going on here. So what I had to do is commandeer this little adapter from my Sky Zones. And what that allows you to do is just plug in any battery you want, and then it has this plug on the other side, XT60, and then this plug. It's the same plug that they gave you with the Fat Shark battery. So I'm just using this 2S. I tried to use a 3S, but you need a 2S balance port to plug in to use your fan. So kind of a strange thing. If Fat Shark could just start including this little adapter here that goes from XT60 to that plug you plug in there, then that could have been no problem. The balance plug that's coming off of their stock battery, it's not an actual balance plug. It just has positive and negative. There's no third wire. So all it's doing is powering the fan. So if they could have just made that a balance plug, then we could have charged that Fat Shark battery no problem. So something I'm hoping they can possibly work on in the future. I know this is one of the cheaper goggle sets, but we need this thing to work. I'm just going to use a couple of batteries that have this XT60 connector on it. These are the Turnigy Nanotech 850, so kind of large. This is a 4S. I think it's 40 to 90C. And then I do have this new GNB. I want to use this 4S 650 80 to 160C, but it has the XT30, so I'm gonna have to put that adapter on. So what we'll do is we'll just fly at line of sight real quick for like a minute with this, pop on the goggles, finish flying with this battery, and then pop in the GNB with the adapter and see how that works. Okay, so got the Tyrannus on, then all I need to do is plug this in. And by the way, really simple to connect it to Betaflight, no problems, and then just configuring my switches in there. All I have is arming off and on, is this one here. The propellers are not spinning until I go into air mode. So arming off and on, then I have stabilize, horizon mode is the middle switch, and then I have air mode all the way down. And you'll see in air mode here, you see how the propellers are always spinning in air mode for more stability. So, and then this one here is just a beeper. So great, so we're ready to go. We'll go ahead and launch and stabilize first and see how this thing does. You can see there's some LED lights on the back there. You can see them changing color as I give it more throttle. Low is purple and they get more yellow as we boot them up. I did change the OSD just a little bit. I don't like those horizon lines. We'll talk about that later. Let's do a quick punch test. From hover to punch. It's just crazy fast. Even on this kind of heavy battery. This is stabilize mode, it won't flip. And this is how it feels with the sticks. Whoa, right in the sun, of course. Youch! Blinding my eyeballs. Don't want to hit the palm trees. But let's just do a little bit of a close-up view of it while we have it here. I don't want to crash into my face, of course. It does seem like it's stabilizing very well. Nice and quiet too. Doesn't really have that high-pitched hum that a lot of these ones have, especially probably because of these props. The same props that come with the Emax. Anyway, there it is, looking good. Wow, it's just got, these motors are killer, man. So anyway, there's a yaw. That's full yaw there. Try that again, closer up. Okay, switching into horizon real quick before we pop on the FPV goggles. Same amount of yaw. A little bit more touchy on the stick. Try a quick little flip. Whoa, flipping really quick. See that? So it's got some pretty good rates. The rates feel really smooth too. Front flip, side flip, back flip. Nice. So that horizon mode is really stabilizing it too. Really good. I'm not seeing any drift or anything. It's locking itself in. We do have some wind coming from this direction, about 5. Nice, looking good. I'm gonna pop this thing down here. Switch back into stabilize. Land it nice and smooth on the trampoline. There we go. Disarm. Okay, time to pop on these goggles, and I'm gonna record this FPV for you, and let's see how this thing does. Okay guys, here we go. So got everything on. Keep in mind that the antenna, actually where the module plugs into the goggles, is quite fragile. So putting on my hat, I actually popped the module out. It took me a while to figure that out, but here we go. I'm going to arm. You can see on the screen I have that recording. We're going to leave it in stabilize for an initial launch here. I'm just kind of sitting in the shade, and I have put up my son's little baseball return net. Wow, so the camera facing into the sun, quite a lot to be desired here. Seems like I want to brighten this up. Let me just hover up here and see if I can brighten this up with the controls here, not wander too far away. Boy. Yeah, you see how it's pretty dark on the screen? I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it looks pretty dark to me. Anyway, we'll switch into air mode. So now we're in air mode. Yeah, it's too dark, so I'm gonna need to brighten this up. Wow, it has a lot of power, guys. Oh my gosh, and it really does handle. I haven't flown FPV for a while, but this thing is easy to fly. Oh my gosh, get your hands together. A little bit of a panic out here for a moment, but we are back. You know we're going to do some crashing, of course, in this flight. Wow, it punches out really good. Already a little bit low. Okay, I'm getting nervous, so I need to relax a little bit. Okay, let's not try not to fly over houses and stuff. Okay. And I was really confident there for like a minute, and then I got all scared for some reason. I think just because the view is pretty dark. Flying over my house here. I go around this light post, watching my voltage, just hearing some slight beeping. Wow. So this is definitely not a wide open course, guys. And it's quite hard for me to see because it's pretty darn dark. So the next battery, I am definitely going to brighten this display for you guys to see better, and me to see a little bit better. Can't even really talk, I'm so nervous. Okay, we have 13 volts. I'm gonna want to start bringing this thing in. I kind of wanted to go through this little gate I had set up for my... Whoa! Okay, disarming, and we're in the tree right above my head. Okay. Let me go get that. Oh, there we go. Nice. A little bit of grass splatter. That's about it though. Wipe this thing down. The propellers aren't even bent from the tree. Let's give it another go with those GMB batteries. Okay guys, so I got the 650 GMB battery in there with the super high C, and seems to be a bit lighter than the 850s. So let's give this a try. Also brighten the display a little bit with that little joystick on the goggles. Actually left to right seem to do it. So we're going to arm. I'm just going to go straight into air mode and give it a go. There, that's a lot better. Quite a bit brighter, so I can see a lot better. Let's see how these GMBs perform here. Got everything recording. Getting a little drift from the wind. Oh, I can see way better now. Okay. So word to the wise. Yes! Made it through that little gate. That's just my son's. Oh, we're up through the tree, but we're up. Wow! You can hear leaves fall. Okay, so this thing is really smooth, tuned out of the box. Let's get to reviewing this thing, guys. Sorry about that. Out of the box, it is flying really sweet, smooth, fast. A little too fast for my ability, but if you just push the sticks a little or a lot, that's full stick right there. There's some view. There's a view of my neighborhood. Check it out. Cool, huh? Whoa! Nice. I'll lose track of where I'm at. Yeah, so you could definitely have a good time racing with this thing. Just made that little gate in the backyard again. And these aren't good lighting conditions at all. You guys know that sun setting in the afternoon is not the time to be racing FPV. Unless you want to be crashing because you can't see. Wow, it just zips around like crazy. I'm hearing no beeping yet. Don't really want to get over in people's yards here, guys. But I do want to maybe do some hole shots. I'm playing a little safe, because I have not flown for a while. A little bit of shake on hard acceleration there. Did you see that? But that could be because one of my props is bent from nailing that tree like crazy and getting out of it. I just powered out of that tree. Nice. There you go. Hearing a low voltage beep slightly. Wow, this thing just screams. Look at this. Oh, whoa. Did you see that? I totally lost orientation. And then I just kept my horizon level and just punched right out of it. Whew. Talking and flying is a little tough, guys, but I'm trying to do it. This person's not home right now, so I don't think they're going to be complaining too much. Let's go around the other way, see if we can hold on and not crash. Woo! Still don't know how to power loop. So, oh, we're getting super low. We need to land it. I feel it getting sluggish. Let's come in and land this bad boy. I'm not the worst at landing, but we'll just do that. Okay. Land it in the grass. If you're not a good lander, just land in some grass and you should be okay. Just disarm right away. All right, what do you say we wrap this thing up and give it a pros and cons? Okay, guys, well, what did you think? I think this thing is a monster. Very durable, really good tune out of the box. And I am not a tuner, as you may know. Plug it into Betaflight, assign your modes, tune to the right FPV channel, By the way, this little FPV stack here on top, it has a little button in the back. You can just press and hold it and then choose your channel. So I had to do a searching because I believe the module in here only has like 8 channels. This Fat Shark module, race band or something. I didn't try to change it. Whoop. And you can see here how this thing is super, it just comes out. And that's what happened to me. I was putting on my hat and look at this. You see how easy that comes out? So I'd say, I mean, since we're kind of reviewing these goggles too, I'd say that's a little bit of a con because you can't really push it in that good unless you take the whole antenna off again. I mean, maybe you could bend these out a little bit. See these clip-in tabs? You don't want to break them, but you could bend those out a bit, and let's see if it locks in there a little better. That's a little tighter. That's actually a lot tighter. Let's see if that did a little better. Yeah, that's better. So maybe bend those tabs out a little bit. Just don't, be careful not to break them. But this thing's cool. It has a scanner right here, and then it shows you, I'll show you that real quick, and then we'll get to the quad again. So I'm plugging it in. You get a little Fat Shark logo, and then it's on race band. And if I just press this button once, it does have a scanner. So it's going to go through 1 through 8, and it's going to show you a little graph of what it's picking up. Okay, and then it's going to lock on to the highest channel. So it does have a pretty good scanner in here. And then if you want to change them individually, it has this little rocker. You just press and hold it. I'm not sure what pushing it down in does, but it does make a beep when you push it down in. And of course these two, I didn't really mess with the menu much, but this right one here is you press and hold it in to start your, give power to your memory card, and then you press it once to record, press it again to stop recording. And then all I did with this left stick here was adjust the brightness left and right. So they work fairly well. I mean, my eyes are pretty wide apart, so I had my IPDs all the way out. And it does look pretty clear. I mean, it does have the infamous square Fat Shark screen. It's not like a 16:9, it's pretty square in there. But it was clear enough. As soon as I brightened that screen up for the second run, it did really good. Excellent control with the Tyrannus X7S. I was way out there and pretty high, and I had no glitches whatsoever. There was a little bit of vibration, remember, on full punch, and I don't see these props bent at all. That's great. Maybe they got a little bit out of balance because they have some tree gunk on them. Otherwise, man, I crashed pretty hard into that tree and powered out of it just right here, and was hitting branches and pushed out. And you can see I was still flying. That last battery, you can see how garbled up that lens is, and you can see how it looked. I saw a little bit of blurring maybe on the thick little splatter there, but otherwise, man, it was really still pretty clear. So that's what you can expect with these wide angle cameras. Just give it a little lick. Of course, I'm tasting that mock orange. Wow, tastes pretty toxic. All that splatter on there, it cleans up perfectly, but no damage at all. So this thing's going to be a tank. Of course, I didn't crash it super hard. I was hoping maybe, I wasn't really hoping, but I was hoping maybe you might see me crash into that metal pole, my son's return net that I have flipped just with the back stand up to go through. Man, I made it through there. I was surprised I made it through there a couple times in this tight little yard. I was sure I was going to just hit the side of the wall or that pole, the metal on that return net. You see how they have these little fingers that stick out, so they really guard the motor. So if you're hitting like this, you're not going to damage the motor, or if you hit like this, you're not going to damage. It would take a real accurate hit from like top in to damage your motor or even your propeller. Surprised the propellers are just, nothing's wrong with them whatsoever. Beeper worked great. It has those LED lights, awesome. And here's the adapter, by the way. I didn't show you guys this, but there it is. So I took the one that they gave us in the box. Remember, they gave us this XT30. And of course you could just desolder this XT60, but it's way under in there in the power board, so you're gonna have to take this whole thing apart if you want to switch it to actual XT30. I have both kinds of batteries, XT60 and XT30, so adapter is a good option, even though it adds some weight. I'm really trying to think hard right now of a con on this thing, and gosh, I honestly can't think of anything at the moment except for maybe, I'm just looking at the camera. I didn't try to adjust the pitch on the camera, but I'm looking at it, and it looks like it's pretty well pushed up against the flight controller stack at that angle, and that looks like maybe about a 30-degree angle. So you're not going to get much lower than that. If you're beginning, you're going to pretty much be stuck with that angle. Looks like you can go higher, quite a bit higher, maybe to like 50 degrees, maybe even 60 if you get really good. Otherwise, guys, just a bundle of joy with this setup. Again, since we're kind of the first flight with these Fat Sharks, I really like the look of them. Look at this. You can see the black is going to absorb some heat. They're probably going to get hot. They do have a fan, works well. Didn't have any fogging in these goggles. When you get these goggles, you can see how they have this thing here. So you get these pads, and then you have this sticky Velcro thing, kind of like the Velcro that comes, this kind of Velcro here. It comes with some of the little mini race quads. They give you this sticky template, and you just stick it on, and then they give you 2 of these pads, these face pads. So easy to change, just rip it off, put it back on. Just take a little bit of time to match up that template so it fits in nicely. Otherwise, I like these goggles. They did pretty well. Even though I was through the house, you could see a little bit of garble in the FPV, but that's normal. That's going to happen with any setup pretty much. Otherwise, when I got clear line of sight through the trees, no problem with the FPV. So I think that's going to wrap it up, guys, for the Helifar 140 Pro. I believe it's supposed to be a box set otherwise, but just a beast and a great machine. You're going to be very satisfied with this if you buy this. It kind of reminds me of the HGL. Remember that one I reviewed when I was in New Mexico? But this one seems to have a little more powerful motors. It just seems to fly just a little bit better, actually. It's tuned a little bit better out of the box. These ones are okay to fly around your house, I think. 150 size and below, in my opinion, it's okay to fly around your house because they're small, they're tight. They're not really, I mean, they are going to hurt if you hit somebody, but they're right on that gray area where it, you know, it's manageable. Try not to go over people's houses and people's yards with these things. If there's traffic, if there's people out, don't fly over them. Otherwise, what I was doing, I think, is okay with these small little guys, as long as you can control it. Of course, if you're a super beginner, start at a park when nobody's around, get your bearings, get the control down, and then once you get better, you can fly in tight spaces like this. Links are down below for this guy. Go ahead and pick up this awesome thing if you want to, and then I'll have the links for the Tyrannus and these and some other goggles I like. I really like the Sky Zones a little better than these, but these are good at a cheaper price. Anyways, guys, I hope that was informative, and thanks for watching my review of the Helifar 140, and I've got a lot more of these minis coming. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.